One of the questions I've been getting asked recently is on the issue of how to learn Korean. What are the steps to take? What are the things to do? If you are in this situation, if you can relate with this, then this video is for you. Hi guys, my name is Adora. I am a Korean content creator and I am also a Korean language tutor and a translator. In this video, I am going to be answering this question on how exactly you can go about learning Korean. The first question I think you need to ask yourself is, why do I want to learn Korean? One of the things that helps a lot with languages, especially Korean, is having a reason for wanting to learn. Your reason is going to help you during your language journey and it's going to determine how fast you go in this language thing. So if you're able to answer this question, why I want to learn Korean, is it because I want to go there to study, or I want to go there to work, or maybe I just want to understand K-dramas when I watch? Whatever your reason is, it will go a long way in helping you. Just think about it this way: someone learning Korean for the purpose of wanting to work in Korea and someone that wants to learn for the purpose of just understanding K-drama subtitles, the rate at which they're going to take it seriously would be different. And the second thing you want to do is to determine the method that you want to use to learn. There are different resources that you can actually use to learn Korean. There's sites, you can make use of websites, you can make use of YouTube videos, you can make use of books. And knowing the one that you actually want to go for is very, very important. Personally, I recommend getting a tutor because one thing I believe is, especially people that probably studied, that spent a lot of time studying the language that you want to learn, it's usually advisable to actually have them as tutors. Why? I'll answer that. Speaking from experience, if I was to go back to when I started learning Korean and to this point, if I had to choose between learning by myself and getting a tutor, I would go for getting a tutor, and this is why. During my Korean language journey, there were a lot of mistakes, there were a lot of errors, there were a lot of things that I learned that I did not really understand how to go about them, that I feel like if I had someone explaining these things to me, I would have been able to get it faster. I spent a longer time learning because I kept on having difficulties and it was hard understanding some of these things by myself. So most of the time I usually recommend having somebody to teach you and guide you on how to go about these things. So one good thing about having a tutor is the fact that you will be able to avoid making a lot of mistakes that beginners make. Having a tutor that also spends time learning this particular language is going to go a long way. For some people, they would prefer to get a tutor, and there are some people that if they read something, they get it immediately. If you're that kind of person, then you can go ahead to make use of sites and make use of books. And there are some people that they are like visual learners. They need to see what they are learning before they understand. For this set of people, if you decide to go with YouTube videos, then you are also good to go. And the third thing you might want to really make sure that you get right is to avoid using romanization. Focus more on Hangul than romanization. Romanization is using the Roman alphabet, that is, we have the A, B, C, the letters that you're used to. Try as much as possible not to use romanization when you're learning Korean, because one thing I tell people is Koreans don't understand romanization. So you need to learn Hangul. Hangul is the Korean alphabet. Start from the beginning, learn Kiyak, Nian, Digit, and everything from the top. Once you're done learning Hangul, reading and writing in Korean will be very easy. Romanization confuses, and honestly, you really don't want to go through the whole stress of learning in romanization and then you go ahead with your language journey and you have to return back. And the next thing you want to focus on is your vocabulary. One thing I always tell my students is the fact that before you start speaking Korean or before you start interacting in Korean, if you have a very weak vocabulary, you're not going to go a long way. Even before grammar points and before constructing your own sentences, the foundation is vocabulary. The more words you know, the more you're able to make your sentences, and the more it's better and faster for you to interact and converse in Korean. So after you finish learning Hangul and you know the Korean alphabet very well, the next thing you want to focus on is building your vocabulary. Try as much as possible to learn a lot of words. Keep learning words. If you pick 5 words in a day, in a week you've already learned like 35 words, and if you keep at it and you continue doing that, before you know it, you'll be swimming in a lot of vocabulary and words, and by the time you start learning grammar points, it becomes easier for you to use the vocabulary and the words that you already know in these examples and sentences. Last thing I'm going to say is practice. Be intentional about practicing. Most of you might be thinking, oh, I don't have Korean friends to practice with. How do I, practice everything that I've been learning? Practice with yourself. You can start with yourself. You can stand in front of the mirror, look at yourself, make sentences, make words, and try to have a conversation with yourself. And if that is very difficult or it feels weird and you can't do that, then you can opt for online apps that you can use to, speak with native speakers, or try to look for friends around you or in your country that are learning Korean as well, and you can practice with them. But before you start doing that, try as much as possible to practice with yourself. The more you practice, the more everything that you've learned stays in your head, and the easier it is to remember these things when you need it. If you want to learn Korean, I feel like this is everything you need. If you get these things right, it becomes easier for you and you won't really have any problem when you start learning Korean. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope that I've been able to answer your question. If you have more questions for me, you can drop it in the comment section and I'm going to respond to them, or you can send me a DM on Instagram at, this is my handle here. You can just send me a DM. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that whenever I upload videos like this, you can stay updated. Thank you very much. I'll see you in another video. Bye.